Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns halftime report with the score, the Ravens 21 and the Browns 14. How is everybody doing this evening? This is not going any different than what I thought it would, except that it's a much higher scoring game than I thought it would be. This is a very physical football game that's going on out there. Right now it's all Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson. And it's the same story as the first time we played them. We cannot tackle him. The only thing that tackles him is the turf. I was going to say, welcome to ice capades, because everybody's slipping and sliding out there. The problem that we have is that we don't have an answer for Lamar Jackson, and he finds lanes. And no matter how we play defensively in the secondary, they can just run men down the field in patterns, and he escapes and he just runs. And, and I think this is probably, is as good a comment as we have. The Browns wide receivers cannot beat man press coverage. That's the problem. We don't have the speed and separation. It's all schematic, and give Stefanski a load of credit for that. But men just aren't open with separation. The first drive, we had a really good series of play calls, but when it's really left down to the one-on-one kind of matchups, we are consistently losing. And that is the way that they're going to get the ball back. We are not establishing our run game. They are not even having to pass the ball except for the blimp that lands in Andrews' hands, thanks to Stewart Jr. You thought Sendejo's bad. You're wondering why you didn't see Stewart playing much over the course of the season? Because he fucking sucks. That's the reason why. He has made 3 plays that have single-handedly killed the Cleveland Browns so far in the first half. A hold that was needless, and God only knows against Andrews. What is he doing out there? He's looking in the backfield and staring at the backfield while, a moving van runs past him. Just not good enough. You can point out individual plays and, and individual calls. What you're dealing with is you're playing from behind against a team that has a 95% chance of winning the way the game's going, because you've got to pull ahead of this team. We had an opportunity early in the game. We came out with our guns ablaze and we did some good things defensively after scoring a touchdown, but we could not double down on what we did the first time we had the ball. And it was a matter of them getting back into the game, and now they're grinding us like 38-6 style, like they did the first time, which is controlling the line of scrimmage. And if nobody's open, it doesn't matter. The quarterback will run for 200 yards against us. We have nobody who can catch him. We have nobody who can stop him. And there are lanes being vacated that allow him, once he just, all he literally has to do is step to the right or left of the pocket and he's gone. So, the answer to this is the unique story of Ricky Parkey, the same way he missed in the playoffs 2 years ago. He is not a big game reliable kicker. He's done very well this year, but he just, hooked that thing, and it was bad the second it left his foot. So that's your answer to that. I can sit and look at statistics on this, and, which is all well and good looking at the stats. It doesn't tell the whole story of the game. I think both teams are playing very physically and playing very hard. I can't criticize them for that. Lamar Jackson is 3 of 6 for 53 yards. It doesn't matter, because Lamar Jackson's run for 78 yards. And, and Dobbins for 33 yards. They have 134 amassed rushing yards to our 55. And the fact is, we are averaging 5 yards a carry. But for some reason, when we play the Ravens, and I think where the mistake was made earlier on, you cannot throw deep against this team. You cannot challenge their cornerbacks. They're too good. Our receivers are not going to beat those secondary guys, their cornerbacks, on a one-on-one. It just isn't going to happen. You got to be looking for guys quickly out of the backfield. There's been no utilization of tight ends whatsoever. We keep trying to throw down the field. The guys are just not open, and that's a huge problem. Again, going back to the statistics in this, you're averaging 5 yards a run, but you're not running the ball. Baker Mayfield is on course to throwing almost 50 passes. Is that what you wanted against the Ravens? No, it's not. It's not at all. What you want is you wanted to be able to play physically with them and establish your running game like we did at the goal line when Nick Chubb went in untouched. You got to mix in the run, and it's just not happening. Standing in the pocket and throwing the ball down the field. I thought we'd figured that out by now. The Browns have sacked, if you want to call them sacks, 4 times, but in the end, the 78 yards looms larger than the sacks. As far as sacks against Baker Mayfield, none. It was a horrible call, by the way. His arm was hit. That should not have been intentional grounding, but be that as it may, not much else to say about that. As far as receiving is concerned, it doesn't matter. Mark Andrews caught one pass, and it's the one that put them in the lead, and now they're going to get the ball back, and now they're going to be able to run the ball, and they're going to be able to eat up all the clock. We're just about dead duck. If the defense doesn't come out and get a stop and get us right back into this game, if they go up 2 scores, this it's over, because we cannot come back from 28-14 against a team that we can't stop. And again, it's the same, and this is the truth. He's not a huge downfield thrower. Situationally, he is, but not snap after snap. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is, that's right, the defense. We knew that going in, and I said I didn't think the Ravens would score 30 points. They are going to score 40 points against this defense because they can't stop anybody. And that's been the story all year long, except for inclement weather games. We're giving up way too many plays, way too many points. And having played this team, we knew that the one guy that we can't afford to beat us with his legs is the quarterback. And that's exactly what he's doing. And you'll never know if you have to force him to throw. He's set to throw 12 passes for the entire game. You got to get ahead of him and force him to throw. He's a little girl and he can't throw. I don't think he's a good thrower. I really don't. But he doesn't have to against the Browns. Against other teams that they've lost to, he had to throw the ball, and you saw what happened. Interceptions, pick sixes, floaters, inaccuracies, dropped passes. None of that today or tonight, because he doesn't need to do it. And that's, and that's really the case. The breakdown plays are breakdown plays because guys like Stewart, get caught masturbating looking in the backfield, and it doesn't help. You stay with your man. That's your assignment. Believe me, you're 25 yards downfield from the quarterback. If the quarterback's going to get to that spot in the field, touchdown, you don't even worry about it. Cover your man, for God's sakes. But we can sit here and say it all we want, but it isn't enough. And this is what, in the end, is the reason why, if we do sneak into the playoffs, that we're very fortunate, because we just don't have personnel defensively. And we're not going to compete if we get into the playoffs. We're going to get knocked out immediately, because, unless we happen to play a team that has a lesser offense by some coinky-dink, or Baker gets suddenly dangerous for a day. Baker's not doing a bad job, but the game plan just isn't there. I mean, we're throwing the ball way, I don't know what we think we're going to find down there, but whatever it is, it ain't. We were lucky to get away with 2 or 3 fumbles early in the game. So, we were lucky that we recovered them. They're going to come after the ball. They're ball hawks. They're physical. And, I'm not complaining about our physicality. I'm complaining about the play calls. that's not what we want to do against this team. And we've put ourselves in a very, very difficult position. I don't think you can really judge Joe Wood's system when you're playing with people who shouldn't even be on the field. Sendejo and Stewart shouldn't even be on a professional football field. They're not good players. And let's not get carried away. I'm not saying that the Titans were overrated. The Titans will come back and beat a lot of people. I think that we're holding our own in our own way against a really good football team. We just have a huge hole. Go back and watch today's show that just ran a couple hours ago. It's our defense that stifles us. We're at a point where we're on pace to score close to 30 points. You cannot complain about the offense. I can complain about the fact that we're trying to go for way too many chunk plays, but you can't really complain about the amount of points we're scoring. It is strictly a matter of giving up points and giving up huge plays. That has been the motto all season long. Chubb and Hunt are not doing a good job of what? They're not seeing the ball. You've only run 11 times and you're averaging 5 yards a carry and you're saying that Chubb's not doing a good job. Next, and again, I agree with this, except for the opening drive, which really caught the Ravens by surprise on their heels. It hasn't been very good. And we do have a bunch of running backs that we have to stop, but one is the important one. And it's like I keep saying over and over again, whenever they get down by the goal line, he always calls his own number. 100, I say 95% of the time. He did fool us and give it to Gus Edwards, who ran it in. But in the end, he loves to fake the handoff, the play action, and then just go ahead and option it himself. And the Browns stand there and launch him. It's really going to be it's going to be tough to get back into this one if we fall behind further. We need the defense to make a turnover, a big play, because right now, we'll see. And that's exactly what Abe said here. You got to get them off the field, and you can't let them. You got to force them into must-throw situations. You can't allow him to get to like 3rd and 4. He'll run for it every time and get it 90% of the time. You've got to have him 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and that's difficult to do. It's difficult to do because their running backs are gaining about 4.5 yards per carry, and they're immediately in 2nd and 6s, and it makes it a lot more difficult. And you can't really pin your ears back and pass rush either. It's not possible because you loop to the outside, he'll run up the gut. If you try to come up the gut, he'll run out the sides. Very challenging situation. Everybody, there's not going to be a post-game show today because of the hour, and I'm not staying up that late. But we will be watching with you in the second half and hoping that something good happens for our Browns. Down by 7, we got to put up a defensive stand, and we got to get our battery charged. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you on Friday on Moohead Radio, and I might even record something for as far as an aftermath tomorrow. Everybody, don't get too excited. Get a good night's sleep and enjoy the second half of the game. Go Browns. Take care now. Hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.